I haven't figured out how to set it up like a there it is. Set it up where the YouTube stream like creates like an event.
Right.
You know, I get those, you know, people doing lives on YouTube, I'll get like a little alert, so-and-so is going to be live in 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, you can schedule them, but I've had no luck with YouTube at all. Like, Restream tells me that it's connected, and then I try and go live on it, and it doesn't do anything.
See, I can't get on Facebook right now because I'm banned, but I can get on YouTube. So, and that's what I use. I use Restream as well. So where's my thing here?
I found it.
Okay. Can you share it on Rock Rage? I'll share it on the Inner Circle. Okay. Not gonna work. Hello. Video link. Link copied to clipboard.
All right, it's on Rock Rage.
Okay, cool. All right, and it's going to go on this here. Did Billy Altman message you?
He did. He did message me quite a few times. I told him, now don't get banned again.
He will.
I know.
It's actually easy to get banned. I mean, what happened with me was like...
That's because somebody was a hater on your page. That's why.
Yeah.
What did you get turned in for?
My roommate and I are like Hitler junkies. We watch all the Nazi documentaries on everything on Amazon Prime. Anytime there's a new one out, so we watch them and we get a little wasted and make wisecracks, you know. So I always like Heil Hitler him, you know, in the mornings and stuff. And it's like a big joke, you know. So it was his birthday back in November. So I typed his name, Happy Birthday, Herr Metzler. And I put a picture of Hitler cutting a birthday cake or something like that. It was like kind of a Mel Brooks kind of joke. Mm-hmm. Well, I was 6 months ago. And I got banned 2 weeks ago.
6 months ago?
Yeah. Yeah. Just totally redonkulous.
Somebody was a hater.
Yeah, somebody's like, you know.
Somebody was bored during the quarantine.
Yeah. That's it.
It's like, calm down. Go knit. Go make masks. Sell them.
Go make masks.
Do something, please. Disinfect your children. I don't know.
Disinfect your children. Okay, so we have that. And I don't know if we can monitor the comments in YouTube. Let me see if I can do that.
You did that last time.
I know.
I don't know how you did it.
I don't know how you did it.
I know you did.
Okay. I don't want to make any changes. Maybe I just go back this way.
I almost shared it on my school website. That would have been bad.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably not something you want to share on your school website.
No.
Although we're less potty mouths on here than on the after show.
Okay, that's not working. I see analytics. I see... I don't want to make it private because that's not going to do us any good. That's... What's today? Today's the 5th.
5th. Cinco de Mayo.
Why is it saying May 2nd? Oh, that's from something else I did. Hold on.
There you are.
Here I are, but I can't. Maybe I go with that. Will that do something? No, that doesn't do it. I keep clicking that and it doesn't do the thing I wanted to do.
2 years ago, we were in New Orleans.
I know.
Did you see the memories on
Yeah.
Facebook?
So I'm trying to... I don't know. I don't know how to get to it.
I have no idea. I never play on YouTube. Oh, we lost Bill.
We lost Bill.
I'm still there. Calm down.
Okay.
I want to try something, but I don't think it's going to work.
Okay. There's the Hawk.
We're all here. Gang's all here.
Hail, hail. The band's all here.
Who needs a drummer?
I'm going to turn off Dio. And I don't know. I can get video details, but for some reason I can't see the chat. Allow comments.
Yeah, but how do we view all of them?
Yeah, I was able to do it last week, and I bet I got
That's
it.
interesting.
There it is.
Mr. Carter.
Here it is. Just make sure that the volume's off, because that will send us into there's the chat.
All right, sweet.
All right, we got the chat, the chit in the chat. We got the hawk. Bill, where are you at? What are you doing?
Coming. Give me a second.
Bill, put your clothes on, man.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
Well, I don't want this being a naked free for all, because some of us, I'm a little too pasty for that, bro.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
And there now.
There we are. We got. Oh, there we are. Okay, now look at you. Now you're all pro, dude.
Yeah.
Am I matching up though?
Yeah, no, you look good.
My words are matching with what I'm saying.
I don't know.
It's slightly
We
off.
don't know what you're saying. You sound like a complete maniac.
There he is.
Okay, we got Bill Damiano. We've got Keith the Hawk Hawkins. Bill, here. Let me put this in the notes real quick. With special guest Bill Damian. Is that right?
It looks right.
Okay. From what is it? What's the name of your podcast again, Bill?
Which one?
Just give me one.
You doing the Pennsylvania Rock Show?
Yeah, I do the Pennsylvania Rock Show.
And I'll get links and stuff. When I'll make sure they're in the what's the web address for that?
And just do parockshow.com.
Just parockshow.com.
So I'm actually using my OBS as a camera. That's.
It's all right. You got some weird background noise though.
Is that me or is that Keith? Because it just started.
Oh, maybe that's Keith.
What?
Yeah, it's Keith. Of course, it's Keith. All right.
What? I don't have anything going on to.
You have air conditioning on or something blowing?
You're just breathing.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. Let's do it.
Dude, if I shut that off, man, I'm gonna die.
No. Don't turn the air conditioning off. It's probably always been there. We just probably hadn't heard it.
It was
Okay.
88 degrees. It was 88 degrees here today, man.
You're melting.
It's probably 79 right now.
Oh, sugar. All right, here we go. All right, let's get the party started. Okay, here we go. It's been said that a band with a bad drummer is a bad band. The proof of this statement is evident when you hear a band and it's obvious that the drummer is the only guy or gal who can actually play. On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast, we talk about 10 bands where the drummer is the best musician in the band. Oh, and by the way, we've got a special guest. Bill Damiano from the PA Rock Show joins us. We're starting right now. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini, and we are going to be talking about, this is kind of a complicated, well, not complicated, but kind of a weird topic, bands where the drummer is the best musician in the band. And, of course, Keith the Hawk Hawkins is with us today. He's our resident drummer. He's the drummer in the band here. So he's going to probably be carrying most of the load. I said load. I did say load.
I knew you were going to laugh.
And anyway, so that's going to be the topic. So stick around. We got some great music for you guys today as well. Shout outs to some folks, including Rock Rage Radio. Go to rockrageradio.com. If you love great guitar driven rock, you want to hear it 24/7, you don't feel like paying for a Sirius XM subscription, go ahead, just download the app. It's free, and you can hear us and a lot of other great podcasts and shows there, rockrageradio.com. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Wolf's Customs. You want to go to wolfscustoms.online. I say this all the time, guys. Listen, there's no reason to get on stage with the same old bass guitar, electric guitar, drum set, whatever, that the last band played. Chris Thunder Wolf Dotson at Wolf's Customs .online will do a custom paint job on your drums, your bass, your guitar, or whatever that will really make you stand out, will really make that instrument that you're playing really part of the show. They do a lot of cool stuff and for a wide variety of styles. So don't think that, you just have to be a metal guy or a punk rocker or whatever. Go check him out, wolfscustoms.online. We have our cast of characters tonight, including Keith the Hawk Hawkins. What's up, Keith?
Hello. How are you?
We're doing great, brother. All the way from New Orleans. As always, my right hand biatch, Lily Von Six.
I always feel like you're gonna say, and always is with me is Garth Algar. That's what I always feel.
Hello, Wayne. Hello, Garth. Anyways, and our very special guest, Bill Damiano from the PA Rock Show podcast. That is PARockShow.com. Bill Damiano. Bill, what's up?
Nothing. I'm not sure how much I can interject on drummers with bad bands, but I can throw out some good drummers from the scene as side notes, like the one behind me.
Bill, it's not a problem because Lily and I have no idea what we're talking about either. So,
so some of these are so obvious, you'll be like, damn, I should have thought about that. And let me just I'm going to reword it a little bit. You said, we're talking about bands that have drummers that are the best musicians, but some of these bands, they have musicians that actually play. I just think maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But I think the drummer in these bands that I will name here tonight are the drummer stands head and shoulders above everybody else. It's just obvious.
Very obvious.
I'm pretty biased, so I don't know.
Anyways, Bill, listen, you don't have to be any kind of expert. We're just gonna be talking about. We're just gonna all sort of be talking. As you know, we talk some smack, here and there. We've been known to do that, so feel free to chime in with anything, and we'll refer to you and to make sure that we get you involved. But tell us a little bit, Bill, before we get started. Tell us a little bit about your podcast. I know you have a couple different ones, so why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcasts?
Right, so the Pennsylvania Rock Show is it's bands from Pennsylvania that play rock and metal. I've been at it since September 14th, 2004.
Whoa!
Yeah. I recorded episode number 514 for this week.
Nice.
Lily has been on that one. Or no, wait.
What?
Yes, Lily has been on the Rock Show.
Yep.
and then 3 questions and a song is a little newer. It's that one also is obvious. There's 3 questions asked, and we play a song and talk about the song. That one is on episode number 32. Brady Novotny was on episode 32.
Oh, he's great.
Lou was on that, but I don't remember what episode number. So that one's a little newer.
Yeah, Keith, why don't you get on and talk about some of the work you did with Black Laurel or something?
We can do
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
whenever you want me on, I'll come on because I know I feel left off. Everybody on here has been on the show. I don't know. Maybe I didn't shower today. Maybe I'd be but I want to be on the show. We'll see.
We can definitely do that. The drummer.
I'll have my people call your people.
Okay. The drummer that's behind me, Matt Ferrani, was integral in starting the Pennsylvania Rock Show.
There you go.
Matt's great.
He showed up with a bag full of local CDs and said, "Here, play this."
Nice.
So that's where the library started.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, guys. We are going to come back. We got Bill Damiano in the house. We've got Keith the Hawk Hawkins, Lily V6, and Loudini. And we're going to come back after we play this a band that I got to do a show with last year called Suwaka.
Yes.
But real quick, I want to remind you guys, if you love this type of thing, you love great guitar-driven rock, you're really into it, you want to hang out with other people that are really into it, we've got a great community at LouLombardiRocks.com, totally free. Check it out. Guys, this is Labyrinth of Society by Suwaka. We're going to come back and be talking about these bands where the drummer is really the standout guy in it. Stick around on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That'd be great if you played. Yeah, I've done this before. This isn't my first podcast, I swear. right, everybody, that is Suwaka. I don't know what happened there. They launched into some weird thing, but, this is the world we live in with crazy tech. Crazy tech and coronavirus. Suwaka, the website.
And killer hornets.
Yeah.
And rigor mortis. SuwakaTribe.bandcamp.com. Check them out. Really cool dudes. We did a great show with them a few months ago up at the Subalpine. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, places like that will be open again, and we can go all rock out with our cock out. So let's get into it, guys. Bands.
That means you, Lily.
Oh yeah, obviously.
We're gonna rock out with our talk out today. We're gonna be talking about bands that. Maybe the band is good, but they've got that drummer who's just like a really standout. Not necessarily crappy bands that have a good drummer, but
I think all the bands I chose are good.
Okay.
Good bands.
I tell you what,
bands are good. I mean, they're very successful bands. I just think that, like I said, I think that the drummer in these bands are just
better
standouts in the band. That's all I'm saying. They kind of carry the weight. We'll say, not to. No offense to Paul McCartney, but
I meant Beatles reference.
Yeah.
So, Bill, before we start, who's your favorite drummer?
I'm going to go local scene, and unfortunately, he has passed away. But it was Keith Queter from the band Skell.
Oh,
that man could play. Anytime I saw him live, and there were other drummers, they ended up in the wings of the stage staring at him. I mean,
did he also play with Whiskey High or just Skell?
No, Whiskey High was I can't think of his first name. It was Mike Pallone's brother.
Okay, yeah.
Mike,
I thought that was who. Okay, all right. Yeah, I knew the Pallone brothers because we did a bunch of Whiskey High. I never heard them as Skell though. Cool. So let's get into it. We're talking about this. Keith, what do you got? Give us your first one on your list, brother.
First one goes out to all you hair metal fans, and I'm going to say this one here is just way too obvious. Motley Crue. Tommy Lee is head and shoulders above the rest of those musicians in that band. Sorry.
Nah, it's Nikki Sixx, brother. He's the best musician in the band.
I'm sorry. Come on. Even I'm going to disagree with you, Lou, because I'm telling you what, Nikki Sixx can't play.
But he writes all the songs.
Honestly, I think Lou was kidding because sarcasm is just one more thing he offers in this show. But either that or
he needs to work on it.
He writes the songs that make the whole world sing.
Oh my gosh! Stop.
Thank you, Barry. Yeah, Tommy Lee's playing just stands out. I mean, he's innovative. I mean, not only is he a solid rock and roll drummer, he's flashy. He's been innovative with drum solos. I mean, the guy's all over the place. And I think when you think Motley Crue, do you think a lot of people think about the singer in bands? I mean, Vince Neil in his time was great, and the band in his time was great. Tommy Lee can still sit down, and he still sounds good playing.
And he can do it on a Ferris wheel.
Exactly.
or a roller coaster.
Yeah, and he can also steer a boat with his junk, so I mean, that's impressive too, but that's a whole other thing.
I don't even want to know anything about that. I've never seen it, and I don't ever want to.
Oh, you've seen it. Everybody's seen it.
No, everybody's not.
I
have not either.
Really? Okay, never mind.
Apparently, Keith has seen it.
We'll talk about my porn fetish at another time. Then we'll go. Let's go.
I was I always thought he was great. The only reason I say Nikki Sixx, and I'm not trying to contradict you, I'm being a bit of a smart ass. But the only thing is, Nikki is
he does write the lyrics.
He's the songwriter of the band.
Yes, he is the songwriter of the band.
Okay. So that does interest me,
right?
Because somebody who's on my list is a songwriter as well, who's a drummer. But go ahead, Lily, you go.
Well, if I was actually gonna just do real quick, if we wanted to compare somebody to Tommy Lee here in Pittsburgh, we'd go with Justin Walker. I think, Bill, wouldn't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he plays just like Tommy, even like the hands and the flipping of the drumsticks and everything. It's very, very Tommy Lee.
What's his name again?
Justin Walker.
Do you know Justin Walker, Keith?
Hey, we went to the same high school. We went to McDonald. I think he was from McDonald, like me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure is.
His dad used to run sound for bands I was in. Eddie, he's a drummer too.
Yes.
Wow, we got.
But Justin Walker is he's very just solid, straight up rock and roll drummer, flashy, and like has that. Yeah, that's a good comparison. He's got that Tommy thing going on.
Yeah.
And who's he play with?
He was with Silk Nine. He's with Icarus Witch. Bill probably knows a little more than I do on which bands he's with right now.
I do not,
okay.
Actually.
Well, he's with Icarus Witch, and he was with Silk Nine. I think he fills in for another band, and it escapes me right now, but I know currently he's with Icarus Witch.
Okay, cool. So who do you got on your list, other than local? Vocals are great.
I know. I just
but
wanted to compare real quick.
Our audience is international, so.
I'm actually going to, and I don't know if anyone's going to agree, but I'm going to put Neil Peart on my list just because.
Never heard of him.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
I know.
At all.
I know you haven't heard of him. Obviously known as the drummer for Rush. The reason I have him on my list, and yes, I know I don't really like Rush, and I don't really watch Rush or listen to Rush, but when I did, and I have been to 2 live shows, that's where my eye went, and that's where my ears went, because he's fantastic. He's got that crazy drum kit that's all around him that I thought was fascinating, and he's extremely talented. Obviously,
here's where I'm going to go with. I would go with Neil, and I know a lot of people say no, Geddy Lee. But I gotta go. I think Neil edges him out just by a smidge,
like this?
Only because of not just because of the drumming, because he is considered. It's like him and John Bonham are like considered like
right
neck
there.
and neck of the greatest drummers in rock and of all time. But she's a lyricist, and I'm a songwriter, and I love songwriting, and I love lyrics, and Neil's lyrics, on a personal note, does mean a lot to me. What do you think, Keith?
I mean, I wasn't trying to some of my favorite bands are Rush, Led Zeppelin, The Police, who are probably the 3 most like the holy trinity for me of rock drumming, and I don't have any of them on my list. I just couldn't clearly say that they were head and shoulders above everybody else, because those bands, they got some bad MFers in those bands.
Well,
and I know that I totally agree with the Neil being a great drummer. He's one of my favorites. I think you have a good point about him edging out Geddy for being like a lyric writer. So, I mean, I could definitely see that. I won't even argue that point. I just didn't I was just looking at drumming in a whole, and it's hard for me to look at, as great as Neil is and say he's so much better than Alex and Geddy.
I see where you're coming from. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's where I was just fixated on the drumming, so I wasn't thinking about the whole.
And I think with the Police, you've got Sting.
You got bad MFers, man. That's some bad.
Well, I mean, like Sting is really like, holy crap. I mean, like that. I mean, he's pretty tough to beat, man. I mean, Stuart Copeland is amazing, and Andy Summers is amazing.
Right.
But you think of all the places Sting has been able to go with his music and all the different things he's been able to do. It'd be tough to say that Stuart Copeland's the best musician in that band. So I know where you're coming from, but it's tough. It's not. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying it's a kind of like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, a lot of my picks are very, for me, there was like this cut and dry thing, like where I didn't have to hesitate. I could be like, bang, Motley Crue, Tommy Lee. It's just, to me, he's better. I know people are going to say, I don't want to chap anybody's ass. These are just my opinions. Mick Mars is a decent guitar player. Nicky Sixx he is what he is, and Vince Neil's overweight. But that's, it's just one of them things where you're just, it has to be cut and dry for me, man. I mean, if it's not cut and dry, I don't even want
Okay.
Well, this one for me,
500.
This one for me is cut and dry because
there
of
you go.
my opinion on
That's great. That's all right.
Rush, and I just think it's cool that I feel like he basically is Rush, and he wasn't even the original drummer. So where would
that's
Rush
a good
be
way to
without him?
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
40 years later, he was still a new guy,
Yeah. I hear. Okay, I'm gonna throw one out real quick, and I'm very interested with Keith's reaction to this, and Bill's too, and Lily's, of course. Nirvana.
I have him on my list.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I think that Dave Grohl has proven himself.
That's
like
cut and dry.
Out of the not only was he a great drummer in Nirvana, but he has gone on to be a great songwriter, a great frontman, a great singer. So
he's great.
Yeah, just great, just amazing.
Even if you're not a fan of these bands, you're a fan of Dave Grohl.
Yeah. He's like Rock's,
the nice guy.
He's like Rock's nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like friends with everybody. You know what I mean? He's like, you get the feeling if you ran into him on the street and he'd be like, yeah, let's go hang out. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those kind of guys.
And he learned to play drums because of Neil, apparently.
I know he was a Neil fan. I did know that.
I'm actually trying to get him to come on one of my shows, but so far he's been ignoring me.
Well, when he stops ignoring you, let me know. I want him on my show too.
If you manage that, Bill, that's the one I'll do.
I have had Cordell Crockett and John Bechtel on my show. So Ministry's keyboardist, current keyboardist, and Cordell Crockett from Ugly Kid Joe. Okay. But they're also in local bands. That's how I finagled that.
Nice.
That's all right, man. It's that 6 degrees of separation.
That's right.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Right.
So what do you got next, Keith?
This one to me, obviously, like all my picks was cut and dry, man. These guys are great. I've seen them live a couple months ago, and they're amazing. But this guy, you just can't. Again, you're not thinking to be a drummer. You just can't take your eyes off him. It's Tool, Danny Carey from Tool. Maynard James Keenan is one of my favorite singers. His lyrics are ridiculously deep. He's very personal about his lyrics. He gets a little controversial at times. And you really, when you see Tool, you can't even really see him on stage. But you can see Danny Carey, and Danny Carey's doing his thing on a nightly basis and playing some super, super intricate stuff. And it's ridiculous how good that guy is. And I think that the rest of it just being a 3-piece instrumental, with just bass, drums, and guitar, those guys are more just riffing, man. They riff, and there's not a lot of like stuff, but drum wise, he's going for it, man. Every song is like he's taking you on an adventure, so.
Yeah,
Danny Carey's my pick, man.
They are. What I liked about Tool is that they are progressive without necessarily being obviously progressive. They're not progressive in the same way that like Dream Theater is, or one of these bands that has like these long, or Yes, or one of these bands that have these like all these like songs, all these movements. They will take you on. They will do 20 different things in a song, like in a 4-minute song. And they can do it all, and it doesn't sound like a mess. Because a lot of bands that try to do that, it just sounds like a complete cluster. Tool is progressive in the same way I feel that like the Police have that kind of thing going on. And what's the band? Bill, help me out here. Who's the band that sang "Pardon Me" and "Drive"?
Oh, Incubus.
Incubus. That's another band that has a kind of like, they're kind of progressive, but they're able to do it in a 4-minute,
Yeah, that definitely
context.
Their earlier stuff. Their earlier stuff was definitely more progressive, and then they kind of felt maybe the tension of selling records, and they went a little bit more straightforward later on. But that's another great band, though, and definitely their early stuff, like Science, albums like that, were definitely a lot more progressive.
I definitely think baseline when I think Tool.
Oh yeah,
it's the bass and the drums together. There was a local band years ago called Step 11 that had the same vibe, and it's really like, for me, it's the bass line. I can't separate the two in my head. I feel like they kind of mesh together,
as they should, in a way, right, Keith?
They better be like peas and carrots or Forrest and Jenny, yeah.
Forrest and Jenny. What do you got, Lily?
I'm going with Morgan Rose from Seven Dust. He not only does he do the drums, but he does a lot of the background vocals. He also played with Tommy Lee for Methods of Mayhem and took over when Tommy hurt himself for Motley Crue. So he's obviously very versatile. He can change up his drumming styles. When you do see Seven Dust live, your eye does definitely go to him, and you are paying attention to him more than anyone else in the band. And he does often write the lyrics for the songs as well. So he's very multi-talented, and also very respected in the industry for drumming. So
you want to hear a useless piece of Seven Dust trivia?
I would love to hear that.
I love Seven Dust. But they, you know who signed them, who gave them their break?
I have no idea.
J.J. French. You know who J.J. French is?
I know the name.
He was the one guitar player from Twisted Sister.
Okay.
He started his own record label, and think it might have been the first band that he signed was Seven Dust.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Seven Dust. I haven't seen them in forever, though. Forever.
Great band. Are you Seven Dust fan, Keith?
I don't really know much about Seven Dust. I know that the other day somebody told me that when they come to New Orleans, they sell out wherever they play. They usually play like smaller venues, but every time, because they're not as big as they probably once was, I guess.
No, yeah, they're definitely not.
They come to the House of Blues or somewhere like that where it's like, a few hundred seats and maybe even like a little bit bigger venue, maybe like, Joy Theater or wherever. They sell these places out. They just have which is not, New Orleans isn't known for like a rock town, but they do well here for whatever reason. So it's.
What do you got, Keith?
I'm gonna go to the Big Four of metal, if you don't mind.
Oh no!
Everybody knows the Big Four of metal, and it's not the one you think. We're gonna go with Slayer with Dave Lombardo, or you could take the rest of the lineage of drummers they've had. I love Dave Lombardo is my personal favorite in Slayer, and I just think that he was. A lot of times he carried that band. first of all, I really like Slayer. I think they're metal legends. I mean, they're on the, like I said, the Mount Rushmore of metal. But that guitar playing style that King and Hanneman do, I can take or leave, man. It's just too much whammy bar. It's a little too nerve wracking for me. But Dave Lombardo's sense of groove, his sense of dynamics, his sense of like just even, you know, I'm not a big blast beat fan, but I mean the way he plays blast beats tastefully and not the whole freaking song. His double bass playing is amazing. Listen to Angel with Death. Just his sense of just like I said, groove, dynamics, the whole package, man. He has what it takes to be a metal drummer, and that, you know, and obviously the stamina goes a long way too, because he can just throw down for 2 hours straight, and I don't even know if he catches a break at all. That's one breath and Dave's gone. Going the whole time. I don't even know if you exhale, just suck it in, Dave, and you're gone.
Are you even allowed to breathe in that band, though?
I don't know. I don't know if you'd have time. I'd have a heart attack after the first song.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break and play. What are we going to play? We'll play Shun the Raven. And we're going to come back in a little bit. This is Shun the Raven. We're going to come right back. Loudini Rock Roll Circus. We're talking about bands where the drummer is really the guy. He just happens to just be like it. So, let us know. And you can talk, Bill, if you need to, because it's not. I turn the recording of they turn the mics off for the recording whenever the songs are playing, but we can still talk because it won't go on a recording. If you have to say something.
With the headphones on, once the music starts playing, it's hard to hear you.
You can't hear? Okay.
I mean, I can, but not.
No, you're fine.
I need to stop picking my phone up. Every time I pick it up, there's another parent question.
Throw the phone away.
Just started the song.
Yeah, I have a new subscriber.
Me.
Josh Monteoro.
No.
I feel the change as moonlight falls from heaven. There's never been such a stranger feeling. And from the depths, I long a remedy, cut from the face of a tragedy. Every move I make, where the sweet breeze blows, is where I'll go. me in half, we'll both go politely. Take a look back at the things that I've done and suffer the wrath of this God. Rolling through the church, like a race through the wires. Take a life for the last time. How could I ever let me survive to the pie? To the Jekyll and Hyde, sprawl from the ground, the beast right beside me. Cut me in half, we'll both go politely. Take a look back at the things that I've done and suffer the wrath of this God. Save me. I've laid waste to it all. Another love, and love cannot save me deep. And flesh was a thing of the past. I'm moving on.
All right, everybody, that is Shun the Raven on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Let me go ahead and give you the website for Shun the Raven so you guys can check them out for yourselves. You want to go to, it's super easy, shuntheraven.com. Always on these bands to, get a .com. Even if you're going to use Bandcamp or whatever, it's just great to have that. It just makes it so much easier for people like me and Bill Damiano who are trying to promote you to just go shuntheraven.com. And everybody remembers it. Super easy. So if you haven't done that yet, if you're a band and you're listening, you should definitely want to get a .com or .net or something like that. And you can point it or whatever. So that's your free marketing advice for today. You're listening to Loudini Rock and Roll. You're listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Go to LoudiniRocks.com for we did a lot of cool stuff there. You can find out about all our communities and everything. Shout out to Chris Thunderwolf Dotson at Wolf's Customs. Custom paint job on that guitar, guys. Don't forget it. All right, we are talking about drummers again, and not just drummers, but bands where the drummer is really the guy. He's just the guy. Everybody else in the band, they may or may not be so good. Maybe they're great, maybe they're not. Keith and I, when you first pitched this to me, and I don't know if any of this is on anybody's list here, but there's some incarnations of Kiss where they had some decent drummers. So what do you got?
Sure.
Yeah. So what do you got on
that?
that?
I could talk about.
Not a big Kiss fan. I mean, that's it teaches his own. I mean, but Kiss have had a few good drummers in their time. Eric Singer. I've seen Kiss live with Eric Singer. He's a badass dude, man. He can play. Eric Carr, God rest his soul, was a good drummer. I mean, I'm not a Peter Criss fan, so we'll just leave that at that. But
that's because Peter played swing. That's where he came from.
Peter played swing all right, but yeah, that's
my pick was actually Eric Carr, incarnation of Kiss, for the best drummer. Just because I really love Tommy Thayer, so I think he's the better musician when he's in the band. So that's why I picked Carr.
Well, who's the guy that passed away? Carr or
Carr?
Carr. Yeah, Carr passed. I think he had cancer or something.
Yeah, he had heart cancer. Yeah.
Heart. Imagine that heart cancer. Gee,
heart cancer?
Yeah,
shit, man. I mean, that's something. It's a losing battle there.
You can throw Antoine Fig into that list too, because he played on their albums.
Legit.
I remember he was in Fraley's Common, so yeah, that's something that wouldn't make my list. But yeah, he was probably head and shoulders above. I seen him with Joe Bonamassa a few years ago, actually.
Anton Fig.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Peter Criss.
Oh, Antoine Fig. It was the first. That was the first drum clinic I've ever seen in my life. Was Antoine Fig.
The first drum
clinic?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
No, Anton's great. I mean, you're not
the loudest drummer I've ever heard in my life.
Really?
Time, I have no idea. I was like 10 years old probably, and I was like, "What is this dude is playing so loud? Why is that necessary?" We're in a room. It's like 6 by 8, and you're just like bashing. But at the time, I thought it was great, but I was like, I remember my ears bleeding for like 3 days though.
I know Bill's a big fan of local people, so I'm gonna throw somebody local out. Okay, Keith, plug your ears.
I love local drummers, man. I was a local drummer at one point. I just moved away.
You're a local drummer in New Orleans now.
You're still local. You're just in a different place.
You're just local to
my heart's always in the Berg, man.
I'm gonna mention my Nirvana tribute band and say that Matt Muckle is the best musician in that band. He really is.
You're in that band, though, aren't you?
Matt's the best musician.
He's never going to say himself.
Matt's the best musician in the band. He's a great drummer, and he's definitely the best musician in Supermana. And I think Chris Krabluski and Chris Volpini would say the same thing.
You think they'd agree with you on that one?
Yeah, he really holds that damn thing together.
I'm sure.
You know the people I'm talking about. One of the Chris's, so Keith can just nod in the affirmative there.
There's actually, I have a handful of drummers I can name from Pittsburgh that I think are amazing drummers. I studied with a few of them, and there's amazing drummers in Pittsburgh, and they still are playing there, and they just, for one reason or another, are still Pittsburgh based. But I mean, that's just not a problem with that,
Yeah. Anyway, so what do you got, Lil?
The next one on my list, and I'm probably going to botch his name because it's a band that I don't really care for, but it seems like I picked a lot of bands I don't care for on this list. I don't know why, but Ray Luger from Korn. He didn't start until 2009, and he's also been associated with Jakey Lee and SDP and David Lee Roth and Billy Sheehan and Steel Panther and Bang Tango. So again, he's one of those versatile drummers that could pretty much play whatever. Also, Pittsburgh boy from West Newton, PA. So got to give a shout out.
West Newton.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Kathy's
know that
Rainbow,
either,
man. I played that room a lot.
So we're going to give him, Pittsburgh shout out. He was also an instructor at the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, California. And he's just the one I like to watch in that band, if I watch that band, which isn't often. So.
Okay, cool. All right, Keith, what do you got?
That was a good pick. It would definitely make my list, and he's by far the best player in that band, I think, especially now. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of. I mean, their first record I thought was cool, kind of was different, but I wasn't a fan of their first drummer, who I think had carpal tunnel and had to retire. But that's a whole other thing. But definitely Ray is head and shoulders above everybody else in that band, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with a double shot here because I'm going to use two bands, one drummer.
Whoa!
So if you don't mind, I'm gonna get a little greedy on your asses. I'm gonna go to the Seattle scene with Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, with Matt Cameron, who's head and shoulders above everybody else in those bands. And I love both those bands. Chris Cornell is one of my favorite singers, but Matt Cameron immediately made a difference in Pearl Jam, and he was awesome in Soundgarden. And Pearl Jam's had like 55 drummers.
55.
They've had more drummers than Spinal Tap.
Boom! And Keith, you get the freaking golden Loudini for the best joke.
There you go, Ted. There you go, Chief.
I was thinking Matt Cameron as well, but I was afraid to say it because I thought I'd get yelled at. But yeah.
Never be afraid to say anything on the Loudini Rock Roll Circus.
Why would you be afraid? Who's going to yell at you here? I just yell at you afterwards.
But Matt Cameron is he's a badass.
He's probably the most underrated rock and roll drummer ever. Seriously, nobody talks about him. He never gets that pub. He's been high profile bands, and he still doesn't get the recognition he deserves. The dude can play, man. He's a great groove, awesome. He plays great, tasteful fills. I've even seen him play jazz on YouTube one time, and it was pretty good too.
Whoa, no, really?
That's versatility. Playing in 17 different rock bands, I mean, it is what it is. But playing
rock and jazz,
different styles of music, that's where you can get my heart right there.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna Keith. I'm gonna throw one out, and I'm not sure about this. Okay. Maybe it's just only because this is the only guy in this band that who I know, because he played with a bunch of other people too. But you can yell. You can freak out. I'm going to say Vanilla Fudge.
And you'd probably be right.
With our boy Appice.
I almost had him on
Come
my
on, the big ragu.
I almost had him on.
I actually probably wouldn't have even thought about that, but I don't even know anybody else in that band besides Carmen Appice, so we'll just give him the pass.
I mean, right. But he's gone on and he's played with tons of people, so he's a go-to drummer.
There was a
for
rumor
lot
he
of
was
people.
going to replace John Bonham and Led Zeppelin for
Yeah.
Christ's sake. I mean, that's how popular
so,
Carmine
so
was.
I would definitely put him in as far as Vanilla Fudge goes. Is the top guy in the band. Not to take away anything from anybody else in the band. Not that they're bad players, but just he's the kind of guy that was really a standout guy who got requested to play on a lot of other stuff with a lot of different people. So I am just going to throw a little Carmine Appice out there for all y'all.
He looks like a Carmine.
He looks like he's a big ragu, but he's also worked with Beck Bogart and Appice a piece. Blue Murder. Remember Blue Murder?
I love Blue Murder.
Yeah, that was a cool band.
John Sykes, man. Tony Franklin, the great fretless bass player.
Played with Ozzy, Rod Stewart, Ted Nugent. So I mean, what can you say? He's got to be. He's got to be good. He's playing with all them people.
He's got to be good.
He's got to be good.
He actually has one of the best-selling drum instructional books of all time. I think it's Realistic Rock, Volume 1 or 10. I don't know how many volumes he made, but Volume 1, I think, is a top-selling instructional book CD / package deal of all time. So
cool.
I don't own it personally, but I've heard it was good.
All right, cool.
But
All right.
if I don't have it, I don't know what to tell you.
Who's next? Bill Damiano, you got any comments here?
Billy.
Are you a Carmine Appice fan?
It'll put me on the spot. For the last 15 years, I'd say 90% of the music that I've listened to is unsigned. So,
well, you're really you're living it, brother. He's keeping it real with the unsigned and the local stuff, man.
He knows his local too.
All right, man. Cool. All right, so who's next? Who's going to go?
I'm going to go ahead and throw out Zoltan Chaney from Slaughter and Vince Neil's solo band. But for this purposes, we're going to go with Vince Neil's solo band because I actually like Mark Slaughter better than anyone else in that band. It's also my sister's favorite drummer. I've seen him about 4 or 5 times, and he's sort of a mix of Keith Moon, the Tasmanian Devil, and Animal from the Electric Mayhem Band. The man,
Tasmanian Devil.
Just for entertainment purposes, I think he's fantastic. So, I mean, Vince Neil's band is basically Slaughter's backup band without, Mark. But he's definitely my favorite, and I think the best in that band. He says it's all in his attitude when he plays, and he basically plays the cymbals with his foot. He goes flying through the air and jumps on the drum kit and everything. I've seen him about 4 or 5 times.
Somebody did send me a video of him one day, and I was like, "What the hell is that?"
He's
I
insane.
watched the dude, he literally kicked the freaking crash cymbal from in a sitting position and kicked the crash cymbal on the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
My hamstring would be ripped. The groin, I'd be out 4 to 6 weeks on the DL.
He's insane, and he breaks down his own equipment. He does not have roadies.
Well, that's saying something. I don't even do that in some bands.
Hey Keith, who was the drummer? And I saw him play. He played for Pat Benatar, and he played standing up. And he would leap over the drum kit. He's in 1 or 2 of her early videos. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was a real showman, man. He was really intense.
Myron Baumgartner.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, I could be jacking up the last name, but his first name Myron Baumgartner or Baumgartner. Yeah, he had some cool kits too. Yeah, he would play standing up, sitting down, laying down, on his head, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. So who you got next on your list?
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Are you
This is
talking to me?
Carmine. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
You must be talking to me. I don't see anybody else there. So we're going to go a little bit. I'm going to go back to the 80s for a minute, but this one to me was totally cut and dry again because this guy's a drumming legend. I'm going to go with Missing Persons. Remember that band? Terry Bozzio was the drummer in that band. They had some hits. They were some leftovers from the Zappa days, and so they could all play. But Terry is he's a monster drummer.
Well,
I
have
think
2 words, Frank Zappa.
Legit.
Yeah. I mean, Warren Cucurullo was in that band, who's not a slouch himself. And neither was, I can't remember the keyboard player's name. They're all really talented players playing with Zappa. But Terry Bozzio is just a effing monster, man. So.
Effing monster.
I am going to throw one out. And again, I'm not sure, but this is just my opinion. I'm going to say Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine.
That's a good pick, man. But I mean, I think Tom Morello just with all his antics, just up stages. And
maybe I'm off on that.
No, but Brad's one of my. I think Brad Wilk is one of the guys I would call him and Dave Grohl like that modern day Bonzo kind of vibe, man. They've just They played a minimal kit. They just groove real hard. They play loud, and then they're dynamic. I think Brad Wilk's a great player.
All right.
I just think
maybe an honorable mention, maybe maybe not. I know Tom Morello really is the guy who really stands out. I
love what De La Rocha.
It's like all his craziness going on the guitar, sounding like he's a freaking DJ.
Yeah, sounds like he's a hip hop DJ. Yeah. So, all right, what do you got?
My last one, and you may not agree, you may agree, whatever. Phil Collins from Genesis. Drummer, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, record producer, actor, obviously known for Genesis. I mean, he's had more than... Yeah, of course you haven't. He's had more U.S. top 40 hits in the U.S. than any other artist during the 80s. And obviously, he's also... He sang, too, right? He did, like, a lot of the lead singing for before or after...
after Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel, yeah. So, I mean, he paved the way for a lot of drummers, I think, and he's, like... I'm not into progressive rock, but he is one of the top progressive...
Well, that's what people forget about Genesis. Before, and then there were 3 and all these records where, they Abacab and all that stuff. They were a progressive band. You listen to Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I mean, that's as progressive as it gets.
Yeah, he's in the top 5 of the most influential progressive rock drummers of all time. So, and when I think of Genesis, I think of Phil.
Yeah, you could go one step further with that too, and go to Phil Collins's career before Genesis. He was in a band called Brand X, which is completely prog rock. They had a song called Nuclear Burn, which to this day I still have no idea what the hell he's playing. I know the time signature is 11/8.
Whoa!
But I have no idea how fast. I can't get it that fast because it's burning. You could also double up what I'm saying. And Chester Thompson is a bad dude too. Also played. They would play double drums at times in Genesis. So Chester Thompson, and that's nothing against Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford, who are great. But at times, most of the time, Genesis had 2 drummers, and Chester Thompson is a great player too. And nowadays, I think it's Nick Collins, who's Phil's son, is playing drums with them. So what does that tell you? So it's in the blood.
Yeah.
All right, so Keith, you get one more. We're out of time.
Son of a bitch. All right.
It was a quick hour.
Give me a second. Okay,
I'll tell you what. I'll give you 2 more.
Well, does Bill have any more things to say? Well,
we're gonna hit Bill at the end. Don't worry. Right. Bill's good, man. Check out that green screen he's got going. You can tell he's chilling out, man.
Oh, that's great, man. I mean, I love that shit. I'm gonna go with a legendary metal band with a lead singer who passed away on us, but we're going to go with the drummer. And when the drummer in this band, where this drummer came along, I think that he just took over the crowd and took over the show. I'm talking about Motorhead with Mickey D.
Yes.
Mickey D is a bad dude. And I seen Motorhead with Mickey D, and I was like, this shit, he's killing it. And Motorhead's great, man. Don't get me wrong. Lemmy is Lemmy, and he does his thing, and he was cool as shit. Don't get me wrong. But when Mickey D came along, Mickey D was the best thing in King Diamond. And he was the best thing in Motorhead. I think he's in the Scorpions nowadays. He's probably the best thing in that band too. No offense to the Scorpions, but he probably replaced. I mean, their drummer was Herman Rarebell, who I don't even know if he compared to them at this point. So I mean, that's the whole other thing. But.
Fran Crasher says the best drummer ever is named Roland. He's totally boss.
All right. Thank you,
Keith
Fran.
gets that joke. Bill, did you get that joke?
I did.
I don't know why it's like.
That's awesome.
You know what I say about that? Drum machines have no soul, man.
I gotta say, Fran, you get the Attaboy Award, dude. That was the best comment we've had like in a long time. That was freaking awesome. We'll have to explain it to you later.
You'll have to do that later.
That's a musician joke.
Okay.
So those of you who are musicians out there, you'll definitely get that. So, Bill Damiano, you did great vibe, man. We're gonna have you on again.
Cool.
We'll let you pick a topic. That's what we'll do.
And then you guys will be lost.
Then we'll be like,
Yes.
we don't know what to do.
I might not be lost.
Can I throw out 2 more drummers?
Sure,
before
throw
we go?
out whatever you like, brother. We're for Bill. Hey, by the way, guys, let me just give a Bill Damiano another plug in case you signed up late here. We have Bill Damiano on. Bill is a podcaster. He's got his own show. He's had me on. He's had Lily. He's going to have Keith on very soon. Where Keith's going to show up at his house and beat the crap out of him. PA Rock Show podcast. PARockShow.com is how you're going to find Bill. And he's got a couple shows, but check him out there. So, Bill, what do you got on what's on your mind, brother, before we wrap up for today?
So I mentioned Matt, who's on my green screen behind me.
Mm-hmm.
He is currently in A Common Crown After the Fall. He was in Slant 6, which is more of a pop rock band.
Okay.
I've seen him sit in for Doppler Effect, if you're familiar with them. Southern rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Like he walked in without any practice, sat down and played their originals.
Nice.
He's a phenomenal drummer.
I play all the bands except for Doppler on my show.
And then the other drummer I want to mention is Chris Rain, who you may have heard referred to as Rue Dog. He played in Fist Fight in the Parking Lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He plays in
Chris,
Staley's Comet.
He's producing a track for me right now. Yeah, I know Chris real well, yeah. Also
a great drummer, and I've been following him on Facebook for years, and I get to watch him play guitar and bass and sing.
Chris is a total sweetheart. He's like one of the nicest, chill. He called me just to see how I was doing during the COVID thing. He was, I was just worried about you, man. Like, he's just a great dude, man. That's a good pick. Good drummer, too. Excellent.
So lots of great musicians in this area that don't get their due because nobody really watches the Pittsburgh area.
Well, that's what we're here for. So, Bill, what do you want to say, brother? You want anything specific coming up on any upcoming podcasts you want to talk about real quick that you got coming up, or?
So I am terrible at remembering what I have scheduled. The Pennsylvania Rock Show is scheduled in
Little
July.
less weed, brother. Little less weed. You know, I know we're all like locked in.
There's none of that. It's called being 43.
I'm going to be 53 on Sunday, so I got you beat.
Oh, shit. You serious?
Yeah. Hey, Keith, we were there 2 years ago today.
We're interrupting Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, go ahead, brother. Bill.
No, it's cool. My website's loading, so I was trying to cheat while you were talking.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Was 2 years ago? Yeah, it was
2 years
fun.
ago.
We were down in Nolans. Facebook reminded me today. It was nice of them.
It was nice of them to remind us of what we're not doing.
What we're not allowed
Next time
to do.
Luda, next time you come here, you're going to ride the ferry the entire time. That's it.
That's what he wants to do.
I've never seen anybody have that much fun on a goddamn boat.
That was so much fun. I love that ferry. It was so relaxing. And you can like just walk around with booze all day.
I know, it's great. That's the
You had
best
a lot.
part.
You had a lot more fun than the people on the Titanic. I'll tell you that much.
He's dying. He's dying, guys.
And the band played on. Where the hell are they going to go? That one guy left at the end of the movie. He was like, "I'll see you all later." Where are you going, bro? Seriously, just sit back down.
Sit down.
Just keep playing.
Keep playing. Don't worry about it.
I think everybody watching your show went to my website because it's not loading.
Well, guys, go to PARockShow.com and check out everything that Bill has going on. It's totally worth your while. Bill has been a good friend for a while now, and he's been a podcaster like since even before I was a podcaster. So I am I'm really humbled and grateful that you came on tonight, brother. So,
I was excited to do this. I wanted to ask for a long time, and I kind of hit it by posting all those people and then putting you guys in the comments like you were an afterthought. That's not really what was happening there.
No. I'm so
I
glad
can't tell you.
You know, when you said that, I was saying to Lily, I'm like, duh. Like, why don't we interact? Why don't we have other podcasters on?
It makes
and like
sense.
Starting with Bill Damiano, because we know several. So we're gonna make this a regular thing. We're gonna get some other people and just have some fun.
So I can tell you that this week's show is with The Art of Burning Bridges.
Oh, nice.
And if you're not familiar with them, their lead singer / guitarist is Wraith in September Morning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Awesome.
Nice.
I've also interviewed her. I didn't mention her when I was mentioning famous people.
Cool. All right, guys, you've been listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Bill Damiano sitting in with us today. We have Keith the Hawk Hawkins all the way from New Orleans. Woo! It's good to see you, brother. It's always good to see
That's
you.
right. That's right.
Lily V6. Lily, your show on Rock Rage is what again?
Hot Licks with Lily 6, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to rockrageradio.com or download the free app on your phone.
If you're passionate about great music, you want to hang out with other folks that are passionate about great guitar-driven rock, Go to LouLombardiRocks.com. There's all kind of cool people there. People are posting music. They were sharing stuff. We're talking about it. No drama, no politics, none of that crap, no yelling. It's just a cool group of people getting into music. So check it out at LouLombardiRocks.com. Guys, have a great week. Shout out to Bill Damiano. Thank you, buddy, so much for being on. And we'll catch you guys all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Loved it.
So now it loads.
Do the outro thing. You want to talk about that?
Hey, Keith, can you hang out for a minute? Can you hang out for a couple of minutes? I'm going to pee.
Yeah.
He's got to pee.
I'm going to take out the
Future
Everybody's going to go pee.
isn't what it used to be. When the twilight zone feel like reality. A trip on the magic bus came to a crashing end. Looking for you now. Got an end, a friend. The trip wasn't long or strange enough. Tell me where ever the eyesight queen's gone. Tell me where ever the eyesight queen's gone. The test you put me through made me change my way. Electric cherry Kool-Aid doesn't taste the same these days. How many bright star brands are all that dumb and blind? Search the funny papers, tell me, what do you find? Pretty colors or shades of gray. Tell me where have all the acid queens gone? Tell me where have all the acid queens gone? I wanna know where have all the acid queens gone? Tell me where have all the acid queens gone?
There's a good dog. Yeah, he's a fun dog.
It's so online. All right. Everybody back?
I'm back. Restroom break is over.
Restroom break is over. So, okay, guys, what do you guys think, man? I thought it was fun.
It went so quick.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I had like 10 more bands. It's just like that's the thing where if I do my prep ahead of time, I start overthinking. I have too much shit going on.
So why don't you tell some of the bands that you had that we didn't get to? Because I'm really curious. I
had another one of the big four. Honestly, Anthrax has already been on today. I think he's head and shoulders above the rest of those guys. I think Anthrax is cool. I like Anthrax with John Bush better than Jelly Belladonna. I don't think that a lot of people would agree with that. I've seen recently they had some like kind of quarantine type videos where people were all in separate in their own homes and they did like little live stream. They were playing Rush songs, and Charlie was, I mean, he's killing that shit. He sounded great playing that stuff.
Really?
And they were doing like hard shit, man. And he
Via
was,
Strangiato and stuff?
yeah, they were, I mean, he
Really?
knocked that out of the park, man. Yeah. I mean, this is the after thing, right? So I can say what I want.
Say whatever you want.
He ass raped those songs, man. I mean, he fucking. I also had
Bill's a family man.
Smashing Pumpkins with Jimmy Chamberlain. I had a Perfect Circle with Josh Freese, another Maynard band. I had Clutch with John Paul Glessier. I think they're very interesting band, but I think his drum parts are just interesting and they're cool. I mean, he definitely can play. I had Blink-182.
Really?
Not even a band.
With
Not even a
Travis-
band I'm gonna look at, but Travis Barker is way better.
Really?
Yeah,
he comes up on lists of worst drummers. Do you know that?
No, I don't think
He does.
I think I would. He would. I'll tell you what. If I pulled up next to him and he had a drum pad and I had a drum pad, he'd kick my ass, man. And I think I'm okay at rudiments, but he would, like, his marching background and his hands are really good. I don't know who people like get a hard on for these things because they don't like the music he plays. If you actually break down when he's playing, that shit's, especially to play to something that simple. Like, those guys he plays with aren't real good. That's why he was on the list. So he gets to me, he gets like a gold medal because he makes his drum parts interesting by playing around simple riffs. I mean, that's hard to do because you could easily fall into the whole, like, I'm not saying it's lazy, but the whole play for the song thing. He kind of does some shit sometimes. You're like, all right, I can't get my hands to move that fast. So I mean,
All right. That's interesting. I don't know if we ever talked about Travis Barker before. I was always curious as to what you thought about him. So now I know.
I mean, I'm not in love with the dude. I mean, I don't like I said, I don't like that music, but his playing, he can play. I mean, it's not like.
So you respect him as a player?
Yeah, there's a lot of drummers that I know that are really good that don't like him, that bash him. But I think to play that intricate, like I said, on top of simple playing is,
Well, I want to tell you something real quick because on a slightly unrelated topic. To prep for this, I was Googling things like, great drummers in, bad bands, blah, 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 blah. And I happened to Google underrated drummers in rock and metal. On the first page of Google, guess what comes up?
Travis Barker.
Nope. Our podcast on the 10 most underrated drummers in rock and metal.
Nice.
Twice.
Well, that's good.
It comes up twice.
Wow.
I don't remember who I had on the list. I'm sure Matt Cameron's one was on the list.
Yeah, this was really. It was tough for me to kind of like think about it. I didn't even know how to kind of like research it. I was a little kind of jacked up as to like even how to kind of figure out what I thought about it. I know who I like, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Sorry.
Like I said, most of my favorite bands, I couldn't even, like, my 4 favorite, like, I don't know, well, 4 out of the 5 of my top favorite.
Well, it's hard
bands.
to say Led Zeppelin. It's hard to say.
I can't go with it. I can't cut and dry say Bonzo was the best. I mean, the reason I started playing drums, he's probably everybody's number 1 on the rock and roll drummer list. But is he better than John Paul Jones, pound for pound, who's a pretty badass dude? Is he better than Jimmy Page? I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Like I said, it had to be cut and dry.
Yeah, I got you.
Same with Rush for me. Same with the Police. Same with Queen. I love Freddie Mercury. He's my favorite singer, but Brian May's a pretty bad dude too. So I mean, it's hard for me to
Bill, you're 43, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we all got to grow up in an era where, like, we really were heavily exposed to, like, the great acts of rock. You know what I mean? These bands were, like, current as we were growing up. I mean, we live in a different time now where it's a different scene. If you want to hear great music, you got to kind of go indie. You got to, look at local bands and stuff like that. But, I mean, there was times when people went and they knew everybody in the band. Like they knew if the bass player was different. People would be, whoa, why is that guy in the band? People knew that shit. It's very, very interesting.
If you want to talk about another great local drummer, Amanda Schrack.
Divine Tragedy. I love her.
Tragedy.
Yeah.
How do I know her? Oh, she
was in Reign of Z for a minute.
Is she the person that changed their gender?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's her too.
I'm sorry. I'm very old school, and I'm old. Not only am I old school, I'm old. So that's the thing that I think of. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember the band she was in back in the 90s.
I can get AARP, so I'm just letting you guys know.
And there it is.
I have a funny story about that. My dad is 20 years older than me. And when he hit 50, they started mailing. I'm a junior, so I started getting his AARP mail, and I kept calling him and saying, "You're sending it to the wrong person." I was 30. Do you remember what band she was in before? It was a fairly big one.
I only know her from Reign of Z and Divine Tragedy.
I can see their album in my head. I just can't remember the band.
But I first met her when she was in Reign of Z, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Anyways, let me explain Fran's joke.
Okay,
Lily.
please explain. I don't understand what's going on.
The best drummer,
I'm trying to think about it.
Roland, he's totally boss. Okay, Roland is a synth company.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, a music instrument company. They make a lot of like amps and synthesizers, but they're known for synth stuff. And they made some famous drum machines, and their sub company is called Boss.
Okay.
So they make Boss makes tons of. I have tons of Boss pedals.
And you know what? I may never forget that now.
and there was a really famous DR1 drum machine. I had one. I gave it to my dad. He plays with it. So that was the jokes. That was a kind of in musician kind of.
I just bought a Roland SPD1 sample pad.
All right.
Yeah, I don't want to go all out and spend like $100 on a freaking Octapad or some like crazy, one with like 8-10 pads. I'll just do the one pad, see if I like it, and then we'll see what happens after that. So far, so good.
What do you think of Scott Rockenfield? No,
In Queensryche? Yeah. I mean, I'd like his playing. I couldn't say. I don't know.
Sid Kalk mentions Scott Rockenfield. I don't think that Scott Rockenfield's the best musician in Queensryche. I don't think that's really what we're talking about, correct?
Another band, if you want to kind of go like a little bit, not the Queensryche was, but if you want to go to the Motley Crue, like kind of hair metal era, another band I think it stands out, the drummer stands out more than everybody else would be Skid Row. Rob Fuso is probably better than everybody in that band, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Just my opinion. I could be wrong.
The problem with that is...
I think the cult with Matt Sorum or especially John Tempesta, because John Tempesta's played with everybody, but the cult with Matt Sorum or Tempesta is head and shoulders above everybody too. That's just, again, I think that's.
You think Matt say it again? Matt Sorum's above everybody. What?
In the cult, when he was in the cult, Matt Sorum was the drummer in the cult for GNR.
Right, I know.
Yeah. And then after that, they had, I don't know exactly after, but they had John Tempesta, who's played with Testament, Rob Zombie, and like 20 other friggin' acts. They had him. So I think John Tempesta or Matt Sorum in the cult.
I don't know. I never really thought about it because I always loved Ian Ashbury's singing and his stage presence and stuff like that. So I never really thought about it. And Billy Duffy was always one of my, like, I always thought he was a very awesome, like, cool guitar player. Like, he has this kind of like Angus Young meets Edge, like, kind of thing going on.
Yeah, you know who the best impersonator of Billy Duffy is? The best Billy Duffy is Billy Duffy. That's what you're going to get.
He's a unique dude. He's really just like, he's his own thing. Are you a Cult fan, Lily?
Ish.
Lily-ish?
Kind of.
Cultish.
Kind of.
Lily's kind of cultish.
Like that. Their Alicia's kind of cool. I like it, I don't know who their original player was. He just didn't make my list, but the other guys would.
Man. So I just pulled up Eric Singer's website because you guys mentioned him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at his discography,
yeah, he's all over the place.
He played with Ronnie Montrose, 28IF, whoever they are, Gilby Clarke,
Badlands,
Drive, Badlands, Eric Singer, Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper, Kiss. He played with some big names. And there's other names on there, but there's one stand out.
Warren G. Martini, Badlands.
That's pretty good.
Martini.
there was a drummer that played in Doppler Effect, who I mentioned earlier. He looked metal, and his drums were not mic'd. And we were at a show one time, and the police came 3 times and told them to turn down the drum mics.
It's like, we can't.
He could play, but he couldn't play quiet. He actually got murdered in Monroeville.
What?
Yeah, he was hanging out with his best friend, and his best friend's husband thought that they were cheating, and he showed up and shot them at TGI Fridays.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow!
I've eaten at that Fridays. Damn it!
Yeah, me too. Who
In the
hasn't?
parking lot.
That's messed up, man.
It's Monroeville, man. Monroeville's a piece of shit. It really
So,
is, man. That whole area is just like really like garbage. Like if I'm like if I'm on a dating site and I see the chicks like it says Monroeville, I'm like, forget it. I mean, I'm serious. Every woman I ever met from Monroeville was a total trash. I'm serious. It's like it's not a cool place. Yeah, the mall is kind of cool, and I know
It's only cool because of the movies.
novel Christine takes place around Monroeville.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but man, it's really garbage.
I honestly don't remember the last time I was in Monroeville.
Yeah, you're not missing anything, Bill.
Me neither.
What area or do you live in, Bill?
I'm in Leechburg.
Oh, okay.
You know where it is?
Yeah, I know Leechburg.
South
That's like
28.
Apollo area and all that.
Yeah. If you walk out my front door and drive down Main Street, I live on Main Street, it'll take you straight into Apollo.
Do you know Bill Duff?
I do.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I went to college with him.
Jared's guitar
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah, Jared Grease. Yeah. Jared was
And,
Jared was Bill's student, and then Jared was my student.
I met Bill Duff when I was substitute teaching.
Yeah,
he
he's school teacher.
He taught at Apollo Ridge.
Yeah.
I didn't even I knew of him at that point, but I had never met him. And I came home and I was like, Kelly, I was in Bill Duff's room, and she's like, who?
He's in a Fleetwood Mac. Well, he was in a Fleetwood Mac tribute band for. I don't know if he's still doing that.
He's in a blues band right now,
Is he?
and I can't Blind Willie something.
Dixon.
I'd have to look it up.
Blind Willie Dixon.
Sounds good.
That sounds like something like a band. Willie Dixon's a old blues songwriter, so I just was going with it.
Okay, so this brings us to the question we have every week.
What do we do next?
What do we? What do you guys want to talk about next week?
One comment before we do that is one of the best drummers I've ever seen in my life is from Pittsburgh. I've seen a bunch.
Throckmorton.
Dave Throckmorton is head and shoulders above. He can smoke probably. If you're talking about I hate to be a competition guy, but that dude can play anything, anytime, and he might be able to outdrum most people with one arm.
Yeah, he's
Except for Rick
amazing.
Allen.
Yeah,
Except
I've
for
seen him play a
that
few
dude-
times.
That's a sick dude. The dude was playing with Maynard Ferguson when he was like 20. So I mean,
Yeah.
what's that tell you? Yeah, that dude's sick, and he's one.
I saw him do a jazz thing, and
he's sick, man.
and I saw him play with Bill Deasy.
No, yeah, I mean, he played with. He had a hip hop band when he played with called Beam, live hip hop drummer, like doing that Questlove shit.
Oh,
and he was
wow.
playing with Bill Deasy, and then he was playing with. I think he played with. I can't remember the other band he was with. He was with like a jam band at one time. Then he was doing. He did some on Rick Malls. You know Rick.
Oh,
Rick,
yeah.
you're
That's a name I haven't heard in years. Rick Malls, yeah.
Yeah.
Great guitar player.
Yeah, they've had. I mean, it's playing like really odd experimental stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
but was that who you were going to mention?
What's that?
Was that who you were going to mention? Throck?
Yeah, he's a sick dude, man.
Yeah, he's a sick dude. Okay, so what are we going to talk about next week, Lily? Quit texting your boyfriend.
I'm texting my mother.
Yeah. That's code for boyfriend.
That's not even true. What? I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk
What's
about
on
our-
Game of Thrones.
No, I will not. I will not be on if we talk about Game of Thrones. I will not be on. The
I have no idea. I've never watched that in 1 minute.
Dude, listen. I got hooked on it. Game of Thrones is like, listen. Game of Thrones is like Guiding Light with like beheadings and violence and stabbings and brothers and sisters having sex. It's like, it's insane.
No, I'm done
It's
already.
crazy.
I can't even stand you.
I don't want to.
I watched half of the first episode and didn't watch any more.
You didn't like it?
I have little kids in my house.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you're a family guy.
But on that note, I also watched a show called Black Sails. I don't know if it's an HBO. It's same idea, but it was pirates.
Of course.
George Ivan Nuzek. You guys know him?
No.
He is a guitarist from the Pittsburgh area. He used to play in hybrid with Matt. Well, actually, at that point, they were called Super Zero. He wants to play again, but he's like into sludge metal. So
I like that band from Pittsburgh, Molasses Barge. They're like kind of a doom sludge kind of band.
But yeah, he told me one day, he's like, you should check this out. And I watched every single episode, which very seldom happens, but late at night.
So what do you guys got on your minds? What do you want to, what's been eating you that you want to talk about next week?
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I picked this week, man, so I don't know.
Well, wait a minute. Is next week the second week of the month?
Oh, yeah.
We got to do an album.
Yeah, we got to do an album.
That's our tradition. We do a second week of the month. We do an album, and we do like a kind of retrospective on an album.
Did we do an Iron Maiden album yet?
No.
Well, let's do that. Pick one.
Cold Iron City. Iron City Maiden.
Ew, gross. I don't drink Iron City.
Yeah, definitely not.
If I wanted river water, I'd go down to the river and take a straw and drink it. All right.
It's literally, it's the Allegheny River.
Stay on the Allegheny side because that Mon Valley water is
I know,
gross.
legit.
What are we
I saw the
talking about?
pictures. I saw the pictures.
You getting down on the Mon Valley? Shame on you, man.
No. That's where I teach.
It's muddy.
But if you
Muddy
see the
Mon.
pictures where the Ohio forms,
It's gross.
the Mon, it's brown and you can't see through it. It's so muddy.
I don't want chocolate milk kind of water.
That's what it looks like.
It's Yoo-Hoo.
But I don't even like Yoo-Hoo.
That's all.
I was on a boat with my students out there. It's called the Explorer.
Lily wants to do an Iron Maiden. What do you want to do?
Great. I mean, they have a lot of albums. I don't know the latter day albums as much. I kind of
No, we're gonna pick like a classic. We got to pick like a classic.
We're
album.
just gonna pick one and like
pick like a classic
like
album.
dissect it.
You want to do like Number of the Beast, or you want to
Killers.
do? What do you want?
No, let's do Number of the Beast.
my favorite Iron Maiden album is Peace of Mind.
Oh, that's a good one too. It doesn't matter. Any of them really.
You want to do Peace of Mind?
But Beast would be awesome too. I mean, that's just something that I like just to concentrate on one thing. So yeah, that's just
We're gonna pick one record, and we're gonna kind of do like a.
We're just dissect it like
we're gonna like rank the songs and like talk about the history of it and talk about why we like it. Or,
that's
that sort of thing. It's just a kind of like jerk off to that album.
Yeah, that's no problem.
So we're gonna do Peace of Mind or Number of the Beast.
I'll bring the lube.
I picked Number just because I think people like that one.
Okay, let's do that one. Let's do Number of the Beast. All right. So now we have next week's podcast all figured out.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
There you
I
go.
might be drunk. I don't know.
You stole that from me.
No, I
Yes,
did
I-
not. You
Yes,
didn't
you
come
did.
up with that.
Yes, I did. I
No,
invented
you
that.
didn't.
I
You
created
liar
that.
from hell. I heard it in
started
movies.
Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy.
You didn't.
Yes, I did.
No,
but
you didn't. You liar.
But I
from
actually
hell.
did.
You didn't. You also came up with Yoo-Hoo, didn't you?
Oh, I know.
I heard that years ago in the 80s. John Holmes just said it on porn.
John
Thank you.
Holmes. I know. John Holmes heard it from me. He and I were doing a porn together.
I'll bet.
I know it. It was called One Big Dick and One Bald Guy. I don't know.
I was not bald in the 80s.
No, you had big hair.
I had big hair. I had a total like thing going. I had the whole like.
Oh, no, he was bald. I was talking about the other way around.
Oh yeah. Johnny Holmes. All right, let's wrap it the hell up. You guys have a great week.
They don't call him the Wad for nothing.
Wow.
Keith, man, it was good seeing you, brother.
As always.
I'm sorry you're
My
stuck
ple-
inside, but I'm really happy to have you back on the podcast.
One day I'm going to go back out and start playing in public again. Actually, I'm doing it this Saturday at Cedar Rivers, which is in Madisonville, Louisiana. So I can
tell anybody.
I could probably do a little live stream from there. It's supposed
Yes.
to rain, but hopefully not.
Just do it.
Cool, man. Get your ass
I'll just
back
do
out
it.
there, start playing.
It'll be a boot scoot and boogie good time.
I will get my cowboy boots.
There you go.
Maybe we should do. Wait a minute. Maybe future podcast. Hold on. 10 country album or 10 country artists that rockers should check out.
I will not be on that podcast.
Chris Stapleton.
I will not be on that podcast.
Really?
Really,
I
I
won't.
won't.
No country artists that you think have any legitimacy.
I don't like country music. Period.
You can't not
You
even
don't like-
Johnny Cash.
You've never listened to Johnny Cash in your life.
Okay, fine, but I don't like. What is there like 3 that I know that can't even
I think
contribute?
I think you would find out that there's a few more that you like.
I like Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. What else do you want from me? That's all I got.
Nellie Wilson.
Chris Christopherson.
No, I don't even know who that is.
Oh, yes,
What? Yes, you do.
I don't even know who that is.
Did
You
you ever see?
absolutely do.
Did you ever see the original?
What about Hank Snow?
What was it? What's the movie? Hank Snow. The original
Stars Born. No,
Star is Born. Yeah,
no.
that's
I haven't seen that.
Christopherson. We should say it.
He was in all the steak commercials.
No, I know who he is. Look, here's the thing. I just don't really love it, and I don't think I would do a good job.
What was the name of the band they were all in?
Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters. I already told you
No.
that.
The
What?
man.
What in the Star is Born?
No. The
Oh, the Highwaymen.
that's it.
Yeah, with
Highwaymen.
Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash.
Willie
Yeah,
Nelson, Waylon.
Waylon. Yeah. I mean, I think that might be kind of an interesting podcast to do. Lily's.
If
being
I
a little-
have to,
Well,
I will do it, but I have to do research.
I say we
a
never
lot of
do
it.
a podcast unless we're all on board. That's what.
Well, I don't want to
say.
make you do something you don't want to do.
Well, I just don't think
Exactly.
I don't have
Wow.
enough knowledge to do that. Like, I'd really have to do all
There's
the
a lot of
things.
knowledge. Loosen that headband a little bit. There's a lot of knowledge.
There's not enough country knowledge. I don't know enough. I have to talk to my sister, and God help us for that.
Let's bring your sister on.
No, let's
You can-
not fucking do that, okay?
You can throw Garth Brooks on there just because he covered Kiss.
Okay, I'm okay with Garth.
Goth.
Well, I like Brooks and Dunn. Does that count?
You know,
Yeah.
Garth Brooks still has one of the biggest selling albums of all time.
Yeah. Well, his deal is so big. His record deal is so big that it's sealed. He's not allowed to say the numbers. But he went into the record label and said, I want the Michael Jackson deal.
I don't even know what that
And he
means.
freaking got it. Because Michael Jackson made more money than Jesus.
Why is my mother being, cryptic?
Anyways, okay, so think about it. But next week we're doing
Number of the Beast.
Number O the Beast.
First of all, Lou, Jesus didn't need any money, bro.
What?
Jesus didn't need any money. But goddamn it, could he build a table?
Oh!
I want him at my sister's wedding for water and wine.
All right, guys. Have a great... Bill, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you so much for being on. You're a lot of fun. We're gonna
Yes.
do it. We're gonna do it again. Okay.
Definitely. And Keith, we'll talk about getting you on, but I think I'm booked until August, so soon may not be the right word.
Okay, so after August, we'll have Keith Hawkins on talking about the life of a struggling musician for real.
We could do that.
We should do a documentary.
Someone that's like a caged animal at this point, waiting to
I'm
get out.
sure. I'm sure that's how a lot of people feel. So, all right, Hawk. Good seeing you, brother.
Peace out, y'all.
Take care, guys. Have a good one, man. See ya.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.